What's up guys, welcome to Monchkinz Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Monchkinz logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video, and welcome back to another Should You Pull video, where I give you my opinions for banners coming to the global version of the game. So in today's video is going to be on Exdeath'S Lost Chapter, but before we do start, like and subscribe if you haven't already, because it does help this channel and I would really appreciate it if you do. And without further ado, let's start this video. Okay guys, so we'll start this video off with actually not a rework. There's no rework for this particular Lost Chapter. So we'll start this off with Exdeath'S call ability, which is going to be Almages C. So basically this will inflict 4 turns of level 2 of the Bud of Darkness, which has a limit of 3. Don't worry, you will have a chance to get it to 3 when, you know, LD boards come out. This will reduce all the target's brave by 350% of his own attack and will increase his own attack by 350% as well. This will deliver a AoE HP attack and will have a total of 180% gained max brave overflow. However, this will still have a split HP damage. Now, the Brave reduce in the Brave gain does increase based on the target's Bud of Darkness level. So basically, if there's already Bud of Darkness there, the Brave gain will increase by 400% at level 1, 450 at level 2, and at level 3 you get a 500% increase. However, this still cannot inflict any break. That's just the thing with Exdeath, and will inflict 4 turns of curse on all targets. Now curse is basically will lower a lot of stats. I believe it's attack, defense, and speed by 10%, and will deal HP damage each time the enemies have a turn by 100% of his attack. Alright guys, so let's move on to Exdeath'S LD with all the passives included. Now, as you guys might notice, I just put everything together now just to save a little bit of space and, you know, just make it very generalized for you guys to see everything and don't have to, you know, go through the entire thing for however long. So anyway, Maelstrom. So this will have 4 uses in total and will raise his own attack by 60%. So that's a 60% flat increase on all his attack stat, and will reduce all the enemies' brave to 0 now except broken enemies, and will raise his own brave by 300% of his attack, and will deliver an AoE HP attack. Now the max gain brave will be 150%, and this will be 100% HP damage to all enemies. This will inflict 6 turns of 3 levels of the Bud of Darkness, which basically max it out in, straight away, and then 6 turns of Dissipating Vortex. Now, Dissipating Vortex will lower the enemy's attack by 50% and will deal HP damage by 50% of his attack. However, this will not kill the enemies. This will not consume a use count on the next turn, which excludes some abilities. So it's basically your ability 1 and ability 2, you will have a free usage. Alright guys, so after hearing information regarding Exdeath'S LD, what do I think of him as a character overall? Now look, he doesn't get a rework. However, I feel like at this point in time he doesn't actually need a rework. Because the whole thing with Exdeath, his whole gimmick is gravity-based damage, so regardless of a rework or not, his damage is still gonna be relatively the same, depends on what stats he has. So I honestly think even if he has a rework, I mean increasing brave hits, which he doesn't have, or increasing the overall percentage of his like brave damage, which again he doesn't really have, is not really needed at this point. Now he does get a rework later down the track. He just recently got a rework in the JP version of the game, and he pretty much got just increased HP damage overall. I do know, I can't remember the top of my head regarding what it all is, but I do remember like the stacks does matter now. It does increase his overall HP damage with that. and yeah, he gets increased HP attack, I think, with Almagest as well. I should know. I mean, I used him quite often at the moment. So basically, that's his rework. So if you are a big fan of Exdeath, it's something to look forward to. However, at the moment, he just doesn't really need one. That's what I believe, because his gravity-based damage is like very static. And honestly, before, when Exdeath first came out, I was a big no go for Exdeath. I was like, I don't really like, he doesn't really break, and a lot of people gave me a little bit of flack about that, but that's just my own personal opinion anyway. But right now in Lufenia, our damage drops significantly later, as you go on to the later stages of the fight, or the later phases of the fight. But Exdeath's Brave Shaving isn't going to change. He is going to reduce all those Brave down to 0. So as much as possible, right? With his Brave Shaving, gravity-based Brave Shaving, I should say. So, you know what? I think he does have a place in Lufenia where there's just a ton of Brave gain. Like, think of it in Kieran's Lost Chapter, right? Those enemies gained so much Brave, and all Exdeath has to do is press one button, or all you have to do is press one button, and all those Brave just straight down to 0, and you can break them the next turn. So there's definitely a space for Exdeath. Alright guys, so we are at the end of this video, and one question remains: should you pull? This is going to be a little bit hard for me. My heart really says go ahead and pull, because he's going to be very helpful in certain Lufenias where there's just a ton of Brave gain, and you know, and the defense is so high, your damage is like doing almost nothing, right? And it's getting harder and harder for you to like Brave Shave and break enemies. And Exdeath is a good character that can make that a whole lot easier. The reason why that I put maybe here are a couple of reasons actually. Number one, the next global first LD weapon has still not been announced, and we don't know who is getting it. And most of the time, these global first stuff are very, very good. I don't think it will be as broken as introducing a new character, which, you know, when they introduced Beatrix and Arnea, they were so broken that, you know, it was, every content became so much easier. So I think with the example of Vivi's LD, which came out in the global version first, I think it will be a little bit more balance. That's the word I'm looking for. So, but at the same time, you still want to know who gets it, right? Now, the other reason why I put maybe here is, one, he doesn't have his burst on this banner, and we know that his burst has already come out in the JP version alongside with his LD. The other LD on that banner, I believe, is Lion. I can't. No, it's Kieran. Kieran is on that banner, so his LD weapon and Exdeath's weapon, LD weapon, are both in the same banner. So if you're one of those people that want to pull for his LD and burst at the same time, and at the same time try and, you know, get someone else's LD in the process, then, you know, you can definitely wait. It's not like you need Exdeath in order to, you know, clear a lot of content. All I'm saying is there's just so much other reasons why I can say don't pull, because of all the reasons I've just listed. There's just so much more reasons to say no than to say yes. but personally speaking, I will put some tickets on this banner. That's just how I feel, and I think he'll be pretty useful, like I said, in quite a few Lafinias. And it's and don't forget, he does double HP damage now as well with his debuffs. 2 of them does HP damage every time the enemies take turns. So that's something I completely forgot to mention, but you know, yeah. So that, I guess that is it for this video, guys. Please do remember to click like and subscribe once again if you haven't already, because it does help this channel, and I do really appreciate it if you do. And you can always follow me on Twitter and on Facebook at Monchkinz Gaming. Leave down in the comments below if you're planning to pull on this, or are you planning to wait to see who's the global first LD weapon first, or you know, and wait it out and see if, you know, Exdeath'S banner is still up around that time. Let me know down in the comments below. Or are you gonna pull for him straight away? Just, you know, let me know. This is Monchkinz logging off. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next level.